Terminate it now. Commander Zilax's voice cracked across every comm unit in the Galactic Military Academy. But Jennifer Rodriguez didn't budge from her spot 3 feet away from certain death. "Who's a good boy?" she cooed, completely ignoring the 200 armed cadets behind her. "Yes, you are. Such a brave little guy." The Korvathi cub. Class 9 predator, species responsible for the complete annihilation of the Vexthul civilization. Currently the size of an earth tiger, with crystalline teeth designed to shear through starship hull plating, tilted its massive head and made a sound that shouldn't have been possible. Its barbed tail, capable of punching through combat armor, was wagging. "Rodriguez!" Zilax's 4 manipulator appendages were literally shaking as he gripped his command tablet. "That creature's hunting instincts will trigger in approximately 47 seconds. Move!" "He's scared," Jennifer said, not even looking back. She extended her hand slowly, palm up. "Aren't you, buddy? All these big scary soldiers pointing guns at you?" Every tactical sensor in the facility screamed warnings. Every xenobiology database confirmed the impossibility of what was happening. Korvathi apex hunters had no pack bonding instincts, no social structure beyond consumption hierarchy. Their brain chemistry was literally incompatible with non-aggressive behavior. The cub sniffed Jennifer's hand. Cadet Kael'thas felt his secondary heart stop. His species had studied Korvathi behavioral patterns for 6 generations after they'd reduced the Vexthul homeworld to a lifeless husk. The species didn't investigate. They didn't hesitate. They killed, consumed, and moved to the next target. It was as fundamental as gravity. "Target is making contact with human civilian," Tactical Officer Vexia reported, her voice steady despite 3 of her eye stalks retracting in instinctive terror. "Permission to engage?" "Negative," Zilax barked, though every instinct screamed otherwise. The human was already dead in every predictive model. Firing now would only trigger the cub's rampage response. "Hold position. Prepare emergency containment fields." Jennifer scratched behind what might have been the cub's ears, if Korvathi had ears, which according to every anatomical study they didn't. The creature's killing claws, each one longer than Jennifer's forearm, retracted fully. It leaned into her touch. "Oh, you like that?" Jennifer laughed, actually laughed, as emergency klaxons wailed through the corridor. "Yeah, that's a good spot, huh?" "This is impossible." Dr. R. Hill's voice came through on the emergency channel, patched in from the Xenobiology Institute 3 star systems away. "Commander, I'm reviewing your sensor feeds. That creature should have eviscerated her in the first 2 seconds. Its neural patterns don't support hesitation." "Tell that to the fluffy death machine getting scratches," Jennifer muttered, now using both hands to rub the cub's massive head. The creature closed its 6 eyes, 3 on each side of its angular skull, and made a rumbling sound that every database classified as a pre-kill vibration pattern. Except it wasn't attacking. It was pushing its head harder into Jennifer's hands. "Rodriguez," Zilax tried again, forcing calm into his translator. "That species caused an extinction-level event. 17 billion casualties. They don't respond to social bonding. They don't have the neurological capacity for..." "Did anyone actually try being nice to them?" Jennifer interrupted, now checking the cub's paws one by one. "Because this little guy's got a torn pad here. That's gotta hurt. No wonder he's cranky." The cub whimpered, another sound that shouldn't exist in its vocal range, and licked Jennifer's face with a tongue that could strip flesh from bone. 200 elite military cadets, representing the finest warriors from 47 species, watched a human maintenance worker in a grease-stained jumpsuit commit what every manual classified as assisted suicide. "Someone get me a first aid kit," Jennifer called over her shoulder. "And maybe some food." He's shaking. When's the last time anyone checked if these guys get hungry? "They consume prey every 6 hours," Kael'thas heard himself say, weapon still raised but no longer certain what he was aiming at. "Live prey exclusively." "Well, he's a baby separated from his mom," Jennifer said, like this explained everything. "Babies get scared. Scared things need help, not guns in their face." She looked directly at Zilax. "You're all making this worse." The commander stared at his tactical display, watching every threat assessment algorithm simultaneously crash and restart. The human was right in the kill zone. The predator was in optimal striking position. Nothing about this matched any known behavioral model. "Sir," Vexia whispered. It's showing her its throat." The ultimate vulnerability display. The gesture prey made before death. Except the Korvathi cub was lying on its back, exposing its entire ventral region to the human. Tail still wagging like this was somehow normal. Jennifer grinned and rubbed its belly. "Good boy. Such a good boy." Zilax realized he was watching 3 centuries of xenobiological research become obsolete in real time. "Emergency response. This is Academy Command," Zilax transmitted, his voice tight. "Requesting immediate species verification. Biological signature Delta Kappa 9. The response came back in seconds. "Confirmed, Commander. Korvathi Apex Hunter, juvenile classification. Recommend immediate area sterilization. That species has a 100% fatality rate in close contact scenarios." On Zilax's display, historical data cascaded across the screen. Korvathi invasion of Vexthul Prime. 17 billion dead in 6 planetary rotations. Korvathi encounter with the Draxian Defense Fleet. 47 warships destroyed before retreat. Korvathi behavioral studies. 0 successful containment attempts. 0 domestication potential. 0. "Whose ears are these? Yours." "Yes, they are." Jennifer was now scratching behind the cub's head ridges with both hands. The creature had somehow maneuvered its entire body closer, now practically draped across her lap. "That's it," Kael'thas muttered, activating his wrist unit. "Deploying containment field. We extract the human, neutralize the threat." The energy barrier materialized between Jennifer and the cadets. A shimmering wall of force designed to withstand starship weapons fire. The cub's head snapped up, ears flattening. It made a high-pitched sound that translated across every database as a distress call. Jennifer's head whipped around, and Kael'thas actually took a step back from the look she gave him. "Really?" Her voice could have cut steel. "You're scaring him. Turn that thing off." "Scaring..." Kael'thas couldn't finish the sentence. His combat instructor had drilled this scenario into him. Korvathi distress calls preceded berserker rage. They had maybe 10 seconds before. "It's okay, sweetie," Jennifer cooed, completely ignoring military protocol while she pulled the cub closer. "Those idiots don't know what they're doing. You're safe. I've got you." The cub's distress call cut off. It burrowed its massive head against Jennifer's chest. Zilax checked his tactical manual with all 4 hands. "Maintain minimum safe distance, 500 meters. Engagement protocol. Terminate on site. Survival rate at current proximity, 0.0%. Current reality on his screen. Human maintenance worker, distance 0 meters. Sitting cross-legged with apex predator in her lap while examining its paws like she was giving it a routine checkup. "This one's definitely sore," Jennifer announced to no one in particular. "See how he's favoring the left rear? Probably stepped on something sharp." Combat Instructor Vexia, Zilax ordered quietly. Tactical extraction, now. Vexia had survived 18 combat deployments and led extraction operations in 12 active war zones. She moved with the practiced silence of a career soldier approaching from Jennifer's blind spot, specialized sedation field ready to... The cub's growl started somewhere deep in its chest and exploded outward like a shockwave. Every cadet's weapon tracking system went haywire. Vexia scrambled backward so fast she crashed into Kael'thas, sending both of them sprawling. "Oh, for..." Jennifer didn't even look impressed. "Don't sneak up on him. You startled the poor thing." She went back to petting the cub, voice dropping to that insufferable baby talk register. "It's okay, buddy. She's just bad at reading social cues. Not your fault." The cub's growl subsided. It licked Jennifer's hand. "New plan," Zilax said, all four eyes fixed on the impossible scene. "We deploy neural disruptors, create a sensory dead zone, extract the human during confusion window. Every aggressive action escalates the situation," Dr. R. Hill interrupted on the comm. "And every time the human makes those noises, the creature calms. This contradicts every behavioral model we have." "So what do we do?" Kael'thas demanded, still on the floor. "Just let her sit there with a civilization killer?" Jennifer picked up a piece of synthetic nutrient bar from her tool belt and offered it to the cub. It sniffed cautiously, then ate from her hand, with surprising delicacy for a creature whose jaws could crush Duralloy. "Good boy," Jennifer praised. "See? Food makes everything better." Zilax felt his worldview cracking like faulty hull plating. 300 years of military doctrine, centuries of xenobiological research, all of it screaming that the human should be dead. Instead, she was hand-feeding it snacks and checking its teeth. "Has anyone," Jennifer called out, voice dripping with sarcasm, "considered that maybe, just maybe, your approach is the problem here?" The Korvathi cub yawned, showing rows of crystalline fangs, then settled down with its head on Jennifer's lap. 200 trained warriors stood frozen, watching a maintenance worker make friends with extinction. Dr. R. Hill's holographic form materialized in the corridor, projected directly from the Galactic Xenobiology Institute. His sensory fronds were vibrating with what looked like academic distress. "Commander, I've reviewed every second of your sensor data," he said, his translator struggling with the speed of his speech. "This is biologically impossible. Korvathi neural architecture has no limbic bonding structures, no oxytocin equivalent production, no capacity for trust-based behavior. Their brain chemistry is fundamentally incompatible with non-aggressive social interaction." Jennifer pulled her lunch out of her tool belt, some kind of earth sandwich wrapped in synthetic paper. She tore off a piece and offered it to the cub. "Have you tried, I don't know, being nice to them?" The cub took the food gently, chewed, swallowed, then flopped onto its back with all four legs in the air. "Oh, you want belly rubs now?" Jennifer laughed, obliging immediately. Such a spoiled little guy. Dr. R. Hill's hologram flickered. That's the ultimate vulnerability display, showing the throat and vital organs. That species doesn't do that. Ever. Not even to their own kind. "Well, he's doing it now," Jennifer said cheerfully, rubbing the cub's stomach while it made that impossible rumbling sound again. "Aren't you?" "Yes, you are." Zilax's comm exploded with incoming signals. The Academy Board of Directors, all 12 species representatives, demanding simultaneous explanations. "How is the human still alive? Why haven't you terminated the threat? What protocols are you following? There are no protocols for this, Zilax transmitted back, watching his career evaporate in real time. She's petting it. Jennifer sat up, wiping sandwich crumbs on her jumpsuit. Okay, so here's what you're doing wrong. You're approaching this like a threat instead of a scared animal. Positive reinforcement, calm voice, consistent boundaries, pretty basic stuff. Kaolthas activated his recording unit. Half the cadets were already doing the same, frantically documenting what might be the most important xenobiological discovery in galactic history. Basic. Vexia's eye stalks had all extended now, focused entirely on Jennifer. We've cataloged this species for 3 centuries. Their behavior doesn't change. They hunt, they kill. That's the entirety of their behavioral range. Did you try treats? Jennifer asked, deadpan. The silence was deafening. We've studied this species for 300 cycles. Zilax finally exploded. Biological samples, neural mapping, predictive behavioral modeling. But did you try treats? Jennifer repeated, pulling out another piece of sandwich. She held it up, made eye contact with the cub. Sit. The cub sat. Every sensor in the corridor registered the movement. Every database cross-referenced the command. Every expert simultaneously concluded, impossible. Stay, Jennifer said, holding up her hand. The cub stayed, tail wagging but body motionless. Jennifer walked 3 meters away, turned around. Come. The Korvathi cub, apex predator, civilization ender, species with 0 domestication potential, trotted over to Jennifer like an earth dog and sat at her feet, looking up expectantly. She gave it the treat. Good boy. Such a good boy. Dr. R. Hill's hologram was making a sound that the translator couldn't process. His entire species' understanding of xenobiology was unraveling before his sensory organs. This violates. He started, stopped, tried again. The neural pathways for command recognition don't exist in this species. The reward-response cycle requires brain structures they don't possess. Maybe your scans are wrong, Jennifer suggested, scratching behind the cub's head ridges again. Or maybe they're smarter than you think. Animals usually are. Kaolthas was reviewing his combat training manual, watching each principle dissolve. Korvathi don't respond to auditory commands. They don't recognize authority. They don't exhibit learning behavior outside of hunting strategies. Jennifer had the cub doing sit and stay and come in rotation now, rewarding each correct response with sandwich pieces and praise. Pack bonding is neurologically impossible for this species, Dr. R. Hill insisted, though his voice had lost all conviction. The cub pressed against Jennifer's leg, looking up at her with all 6 eyes in what every expert would swear was adoration. Huh, Jennifer said. Weird how he's doing all these impossible things then. She glanced at Zilax. You guys might want to update your research methods. Zilax looked at his tactical display, where 300 years of military doctrine was being rewritten by a human maintenance worker with a half-eaten sandwich. Someone, he said quietly, get me a direct line to High Council. They're not going to believe this. He's hungry and lost his mom, obviously, Jennifer said, like this was the most natural conclusion in the galaxy. Look at him. He's shaking, dehydrated, favoring that paw. He's been alone for hours. Kaolthas stared. You determined all that from what? Looking at him? Yeah? Jennifer shrugged. It's not complicated. Scared baby separated from parent. We get this on Earth all the time. You. Dr. R. Hill's hologram stabilized, his academic composure desperately trying to reassert itself. You encounter apex predators as juveniles on your home world? Oh, sure. Bears, Big cats, wolves, crocodiles. Jennifer counted on her fingers. We mostly leave them alone, but when babies get separated or injured, wildlife rescue brings them in. It's pretty standard. The silence that followed was the sound of multiple worldviews collapsing. Standard, Vexia repeated flatly. You're saying your species regularly interacts with apex predators. Well, we don't pet the wild ones, Jennifer said. That's stupid. But babies? Yeah, if they need help, someone's got to step up. She pulled out her personal data device, what humans called a phone, and swiped through images. Here, look. The holographic display projected above her device showed a human woman bottle-feeding a massive striped feline. Then, another human cleaning wounds on a creature with more teeth than seemed structurally sound. Then a group of humans raising what looked like miniature bears. That's a tiger cub rehabilitation center, Jennifer narrated. This one's a crocodile rescue. Oh, and these are wolf puppies someone found orphaned. Same thing, different planet. She looked up at the assembled experts. He's a baby. Babies are scared and need help. You just gotta be calm and gentle. Dr. R. Hill's sensory fronds had gone completely rigid. This violates 16 fundamental principles of predator-prey dynamics. Humans are prey species biology. You don't have natural weapons, armor, venom. How are you the dominant species on a planet full of apex predators? Or maybe, Jennifer said, voice sweet as poison. You just never tried being gentle? The ground shook. Every weapon tracking system in the facility locked onto the massive biosignature approaching from the east corridor. Sensors screamed warnings. Automatic defense protocols activated and were immediately overridden by Zillax. Firing now would kill everyone in the blast radius. The adult Corvathi that rounded the corner was the size of a planetary shuttle. Crystalline fangs, as long as Jennifer was tall. Claws that could tear through reinforced bulkheads. The creature that had personally killed 3,000 Vex Thule warriors in a single engagement, according to historical records. 200 cadets raised weapons with shaking hands, knowing it was futile. Jennifer stood up, brushing off her jumpsuit. Oh, good. Mom's here. Get back, Zillax roared. Jennifer ignored him, completely. She walked toward the mother Corvathi. Walked, not ran, not dove for cover. With the cub trotting beside her. Found your baby, she called out cheerfully. He got lost and hurt his paw, but he's okay, just scared. The mother Corvathi lowered her massive head, and every combat computer calculated attack vectors, estimated casualties, predicted total facility loss within 90 seconds. The mother licked Jennifer's face. The sound it made, a deep, rumbling purr that registered on seismic sensors, was classified in every database as a threat display. Except it wasn't threatening. It was grateful. The mother gently picked up her cub by the scruff of his neck, the way earth cats carried kittens. She looked at Jennifer one more time, made a sound that the translator gave up trying to process, and left the way she came. Jennifer wiped alien saliva off her face. Well, that was nice. Glad they're reunited. 300 trained military cadets stood in complete shock, weapons still raised at empty air. Zillax felt his command tablet slip from his manipulators. How? His voice came out barely above a whisper. How did you know she wouldn't kill you? How did you assess the psychology of a species you'd never encountered? Jennifer picked up her tool belt, checking her maintenance schedule. I worked at an animal shelter for 3 years before this job. You read body language. Ears back means scared, not aggressive. Shaking means cold or frightened. Whimpering means pain. It's all the same. You just pay attention. Body language, Dr. R. Hill repeated, his entire scientific framework in ruins around him. 3 years at an animal shelter. Yeah. Jennifer started walking toward the maintenance bay. Anyway, that toilet in Section 7 still needs fixing. You guys good here? Nobody answered. They were too busy trying to remember how to breathe. The Emergency Galactic Council session convened 6 hours later under the official designation Human-Predator Interaction Capabilities and Implications for Xenobiological Protocols. Zillax stood before representatives from 47 species, his career somehow still intact, and explained how a maintenance worker had accomplished what 3 centuries of military doctrine said was impossible. The human approached the situation with what she termed common sense, he reported, feeling the words inadequate even as he said them. She assessed behavioral cues, applied non-threatening body language, and utilized positive reinforcement techniques. Back at the academy, Jennifer was in her 3rd meeting of the day. This one included the board of directors, 2 xenobiologists, and someone from HR. So, we'd like to offer you a position as interspecies relations consultant, the HR representative said, tentacles shuffling data tablets nervously. Jennifer leaned back in her chair. Does it come with dental? What? Dental insurance. I've got a cavity that needs filling. Jennifer crossed her arms. And better pay than maintenance. If I'm rewriting your protocols, I want compensation. They gave her dental. The Academy's new course appeared in the catalog 2 weeks later. Cross-Species Behavioral Assessment, Human Methods, Xeno 401. It was immediately mandatory for all combat specializations. Kyle Thas sat in the front row of the first session, stylus ready. Jennifer stood at the front, looking deeply uncomfortable with the attention. Okay, so treats, she began, pulling up a holographic display. Positive reinforcement means rewarding behavior you want to see repeated. Calm energy means not freaking out just because something has teeth. Most aggressive displays are fear responses, not actual attacks. 200 cadets took frantic notes. Your species just approaches dangerous creatures? Kael'thas asked, still grappling with the concept. Regularly? Well, not the smart ones, Jennifer said with a grin. But someone's got to help lost babies. And honestly, most dangerous creatures just want to be left alone. It's when you back them into corners or separate them from family that things get ugly. Zillax was updating Academy protocols in his office, adding an entire section that would have been considered insanity a month ago. Prior to implementing lethal force protocols against unidentified or aggressive species, consult human personnel for behavioral assessment and alternative engagement strategies. Military doctrine across the galaxy was getting a new appendix. Emotional intelligence applications in crisis scenarios, a human perspective. Jennifer finished the lecture. Any questions? No? Cool. And headed back to the maintenance bay. She had a list of broken lights in Section 12 that weren't going to fix themselves. She passed a group of cadets in the corridor, heard them whispering. She walked right up to it. The mother could have killed everyone. Humans are terrifying. Jennifer grabbed her tool belt and started humming an Earth song, something about letting it go. The broken lights were on the 3rd level. She'd need the hover lift. Vexia caught her at the maintenance elevator. The combat instructor looked uncharacteristically uncertain. Rodriguez, she started, mandibles clicking nervously. Could you teach us this? The body language reading thing? Beyond the official course? Jennifer considered. Sure. Bring coffee next time. Actual coffee, not that synthetic crap. And I'll explain why you're all standing too stiff. Makes you look threatening when you're trying to be neutral. Standing too stiff? Yeah. Locked joints, rigid posture. Predators read that as pre-attack positioning. You gotta relax. Jennifer demonstrated, shifting her weight casually. See? Vexia tried to mimic the stance. Failed. Tried again. We'll work on it, Jennifer said, stepping into the elevator. In the command center, Zillax recorded his final report to High Council. Recommend immediate integration of human empathetic response training across all military branches. The human ability to assess nonverbal communication and de-escalate threat scenarios represents a significant tactical advantage previously unconsidered in xenobiological research. Further study required. But preliminary results suggest human behavioral assessment methods are superior to current predictive modeling in 93% of scenarios involving... Jennifer wasn't listening. She was 3 levels up, replacing burned-out light panels and wondering if the cafeteria was doing pizza today, or if it was that weird fungal casserole again. The light fixture clicked into place. She tested it, perfect, and moved to the next one. Somewhere in the galaxy, military doctrine was being rewritten. Xenobiology textbooks were being recalled. The entire understanding of predator-prey dynamics was shifting on its axis. Jennifer hummed her song, checked her list, and headed for Bay 7. That toilet wasn't going to unclog itself.